Okay, today we will cover two chapters, chapter 13 and 14. Number 13, American doesn't like number 13, right? Whatever reason. To me, because I'm an Asian, so I don't care about number 13, but Asian care about number 4. You know why? Number 4 in Chinese, the same pronunciation, number 4 and then death. And then Korean, the same. Number 4 and death, the same pronunciation. And then Japanese too. So that's why we don't like number 4. So some building doesn't have a 4th floor. In the United States, I went to somewhere and then stayed at a hotel. And the hotel room number 12, there is no 13 and then 14 and so on like that. So in the United States, many people doesn't like number 13. Yeah. Anyway, chapter 13, aggregate planning. Aggregate planning. From chapter 1, we talked about actually chapter 2. It was about the strategic management and strategy. Then mission or goal, and then long-term corporate strategy, and then operations strategy to achieve a goal they need. And then about that strategy, they need planning, production planning and material planning and so on like that. So in terms of the length of period or term, long-term planning and mid-term planning and short-term planning. First, operations planning. This one is short-term planning. It's like to achieve short-term or mid-term strategy. They need a certain plan. So that is short-term and operations planning, monthly, weekly, daily plan, and then performed by low-level management. So planning is the long-term, mid-term, and short-term. So long-term plan performed by top executive and then operations managers and then flow managers and so on. Aggregate planning is between mid-term and then short-term. So intermediate term, about 3 to 18 months is planning. So to minimize cost resource required to meet demand over period, and then focus on total aggregate resource. That means if the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, if the company plan quarter by quarter, then maybe this one is one aggregate planning. Then monthly production is 150,000, 120,000, 110,000 monthly plan. Then aggregate planning is kind of a total collection aggregate operations management resource plan. So where is my cursor? Just a moment. let me, oh, got it. So total of this 3 months is 150, 120, 110, so 380,000. Then next 3 months, the same 380,000, and then next 3 months is 470,000 like this. So focus on total collection, because this aggregate planning is an intermediate term plan. Okay, then. And then the main purpose of aggregate planning is to find optimal combination of 3 things: production rate, workforce level, and inventory on hand. So about the demand, then how can we deal the demand change? Maybe production rate change, workforce level change, inventory on hand change. So find optimal level of each one. Aggregate planning options. There are 2 types of options: capacity option and demand option. Change capacity by inventory level, change inventory level, and then using workforce size. If they need more workforce, then hire more, then lay up and so on like that. So change in workforce size. And then varying production rate. Using more machine or increase capacity, they can increase the production rate. And then using a subcontractor or outsourcing and so on. And then using part-time workers, using more part-time workers to increase the capacity. And then demand. If demand is like a fluctuate, sometimes the peak, sometimes the low, and so on. So to make it stable, they may using like advertisement and so on, try to increase the demand. And then back ordering during a high demand period. If they need more, then order more. And then using counter seasonal product and service mixing. During the summer, maybe something is popular in the season, and then in the winter, so mix the winter product and the summer product and so on like that. Then strategies. If there is no demand change, then how they deal with the demand. So first one is chase strategy. Using earlier one change or varying workforce size, change capacity. So chase strategy use changing workforce size. Demand increase, then hire more people, and then demand drop, then lay up and so on. Advantage is minimize costly finished goods inventory. Demand high, then increase workforce size, and then match the demand. Demand decrease, and then match the demand by firing or laying up employee. So inventory level is low, but problem is poor workers' moral. So they feel anytime they can be fired. So uncertainty of the employment is the problem. And then next, strategy is a stable workforce size. Don't fire, don't hire, just use the same level of workforce. But if the demand increase, then work more hours. Like if they use one shift per day, maybe the 2 shifts, and so on like that. When the Hyundai car and then Kia car demand was high, then they need an increased capacity. Used this variable work hour strategy. So they use three shifts per day, so 24-hour run, and also they work during the weekend. So as I told you, I like to play golf. So when I was in Alabama, then during the weekend, if I go a golf course, then if I see Hyundai cars there, then Hyundai doesn't work. If I cannot see not many Hyundai cars there in the parking lot, they work like that. So many days during the weekend when the Hyundai car sales was good, they worked even during the weekend. So at the time, Hyundai used this variable work hour strategy. So advantage is avoid emotional and tangible cost of hiring and firing. So just maintain workforce size. So their job is secure. And then inefficient usage of workforce. If the capacity is here, but demand is more than like this, then they use overtime. So overtime cost is high. That is cost, additional cost. And then if demand is lower than capacity, then this gap is like unnecessary capacity. So if they use this stable workforce strategy, then the problem is inefficient usage of workforce or capacity. The next one is the level strategy. Don't fire, don't hire, and then don't work more time or less time. Just use inventory level. So increase in the capacity, then out of stock, that's it, like that. And then demand low, and then just inventory, and so on. So advantage is minimizing scheduling and hiring a workforce, but problem is inventory level. And then sometimes demand higher than capacity, then opportunity cost. Yield management. Earlier, talk about this demand options. One of the demand options influencing demand. So to influence the demand, they use advertisement, commercial, and so on. And also, we can use this yield management to influence customer. Allocating the right type of capacity to the right type of customer at the right price and time to maximize revenue or yield. Using this yield management, we can make demand more predictable. Regular time, if we go somewhere from Scranton to Philadelphia, if we go Philadelphia by airplane, it takes about less than 30 minutes. But if I go to Philadelphia by airplane tomorrow, how much is it? Airfare. Let me check. Expedia. Just a moment, I will check. Flight from Scranton ABP to, I will change now. ABP to Philly. So let's say 1 way. Then departing day is tomorrow. Search. Come on. Cheapest one is now 401. But if I go there like 1 month later, $151, way different. That is the yield management. Another example of yield management is, you know, in Manhattan, to park in a parking garage 1 hour in Manhattan, how much is it? Do you know how much is it to park in Manhattan, New York?
Probably like $30.
$30, yeah. About 20 years ago, it was $20. But at that time, my wife went to FIT. Then my wife found a parking garage, $9 all day long. So 1 hour, $20, but all day long is $9. The condition is park there earlier than 9 a.m. And then anytime check out. So that is they call early bird special. So it's like an early time demand is low. So increase to demand attract the customer using low price. And then demand high, then capacity to match the capacity use high price. And then also, you know, movie theater, nowadays about $13, $14. But if we go there early, then maybe $8, $9 like that. So that is yield management. And then also the airline ticket, if we book earlier, then cheaper, and then closer to the schedule, the flight time, then expensive like that. So yield management is like that. So using this yield management, we can influence customer or attract the customer during the peak, on-peak time. So demand is low, then increase the demand by using like a low price, cheaper, and so on. So that is yield management. And aggregate planning method, using graphical method, compare projected demand with existing capacity graphically. So if demand is 900, January 700, 800, and so on, then total like aggregate plan is demand is 6,200. Then each month's production day is 20 to 18 and so on. So total 124. And then based on this demand per day, so we can draw graph like this. So total demand is 6,200. So add all aggregate demand. So average demand per month is 50. So 6,200 divided by number of production days, and then 50 units per day. Then this one is average demand of first month and so on like that. Then this one is average demand per day. And then forecast demand is like this. So if we produce this many, then maybe we need to match the daily demand. Then this company needs a capacity of about 70 to match this one. But if we produce daily average demand, then capacity is about here. So long-term need, mid-term need, or aggregate planning, 50, 50, 50, 50, then we can match. Maybe there is like a inventory somewhere. But anyway, we can see graphically the demand, and then we can plan production like this. Then another example of a graphical method. So production day is the 22, production 1,100 first month and so on, and then forecast demand. And then if produce 1,100 in January, demand 900, then carryover inventory 200. So it's like that. This is the planned production. This is the cumulative production, and then this one is projected demand. So there is no inventory, and so on. So total cost is inventory cost and then production cost. total cost is this one. So if we match production to demand, then we can reduce the inventory carrying cost. So using this graphical method, we can plan long-term need or mid-term need. And next one is the mathematical method. We can use linear programming. Last time we used the assignment method to solve the scheduling. Similar one, transportation method. If there are multiple sources and then multiple destination, how can we match in terms of maximize profit or minimize cost, minimize time? So we can use this linear programming, especially transportation method, to solve this kind of the planning, production planning problem. If demand is 800 in March, April 1000, in May 750, and then capacity is the company's regular capacity is 700. If they use overtime, then additional 50. And then they can use subcontracting capacity. So 150 additional, like outsourcing. And then beginning inventory is 100 carryover from February, 100 on hand. And then production cost, if use the regular capacity, then $40 per tire. And then overtime, $10 higher, $50. And then subcontract, then $70. And then carrying cost is $2 per month per item. Then we can use the Excel solver to solve this problem. I made this example. Looks like this. I will go over this transportation method of linear programming on Thursday. Then I will make one assignment like last time. I will give you all the function and syntax where make the tablet, and then I will make the kind of instruction manual, the PowerPoint slide like last time assignment. So I will go over this now next class on Thursday. Have you did you try the assignment method using the solver, the assignment? Did you or not yet?
I did.
You did? How was it?
I mean, it was seems like much quicker than doing it with pen and paper.
So any problem to do that?
No, once I added the Solver add-on, it was I just followed the steps. And,
Have you been any experience now with that solver earlier? Do you have any knowledge about the Excel solver earlier?
no, this
No,
is the first time I
it
used
is
it.
first time.
Yeah.
But was it? You mean it was okay to do that assignment using that my steps and my instruction, right?
Yeah, I looked back
Okay.
to your recording of the class, so that was really useful. And then the slides with the steps.
Okay. So next class, I will make the like a similar assignment and then similar the steps and instruction how to do it. Actually, this one, you know, this part is like in other class in the course, like they said, the name of the course is management science. We don't have that course, but if we have a management science course, then using Excel and other program to do it's like a quantitative method using computer program. But nowadays, you know, even operations management trended to more quantitative analytic trend. So even you don't know this part in the detail, but I just try to give you something experience. Then maybe later, if you need this kind of techniques, then you may take a certain course somewhere. One thing, you know, it is kind of my advertisement. Now I'm developing. I will show you. Here it is. Just a moment. I made name as R statistics. So now you can see my this one. So I named the course R statistics. So using R program, have you heard this program named R or R Studio? You know, we use Excel. We use Excel to solve certain problem. R is one of the computer program to solve the quantitative method. So using this R, we can do linear programming, modeling, statistical test, time series analysis, and so on. So this one is nowadays in a real world and in real industry. They use this R and R Studio. So I developed now this course, but at Marriott, there is no chance to teach this kind of course. But if there is like a demand, if there is a student whoever interested in learn about this, then I will make kind of the voluntary workshop. This course, this class end middle of October. So if there is or there are students are interested in this, then I will start that workshop. It's like 12 sessions. So each session like 2 hours. I don't know when, but maybe Tuesday or Thursday night. And then after finish, it's not, maybe it's not an official, but I will make a certificate. So in the future, if you need a job, and then if they ask, can you do R, Excel, something like that, then I can do. I took that workshop, so I have a certificate like that. So maybe I know if the student know how to use this R, is beneficial. Especially if the job is like analytic parts in the job, then this R and R Studio is kind of a hot thing nowadays. So using this R Studio, I will, so it's for a student and then to me. Now I'm developing, so it's like a responsibility. If I have a responsibility, then I can do more and then more dedicate to do this. So, but anyway, even there is no student, I will continue to develop this course, but I don't know when I can teach this. But anyway, so if you have something, if you are interested in, let me know. Then there is no cost, free workshop. Okay. Next chapter. Okay, let's take a 5-minute break and then come back 6:45. Okay, I'm back. Chapter 14. Are you there?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Chapter 14, Material Requirement Planning. Simply, we call this MRP system. You know, MRP system, you know, ERP system. This is enterprise resource planning. So nowadays, many companies use this ERP system. ERP system from MRP, developed MRP2, and then it goes in the ERP system. This MRP system is computer program system. This one is like a, what can I say, the independent single computer system for planning. And then these two, MRP2 and then ERP system, they are integrated system. That means MRP system used only by only one department, but MRP2 system used by multiple departments. So it's like a purchasing department, production department, and certain department, and so on. They share one database. So we call this system as integrated system. And then ERP system, or entire departments in a company use one database. So this is ERP system, and then MRP2 system looks like this. But MRP system is one single independent system for planning. MRP system is a means for determining the number of parts, components, and materials needed to produce a product. So to produce something, they need parts. So using this MRP system, plan when, what parts, how many need. The MRP provides time scheduling information specifying when each of the materials, parts, and components should be ordered or produced, and determines the dates when orders for those materials should be released based on lead time. So how many part, what part, and then when order, and then when receive, and so on. So using this MRP system to get the right materials to the right place at the right time. Then using this MRP system, then they can improve customer service, minimize inventory investment costs, then maximize production operating efficiency and so on. And then this one is based on dependent demand. Dependent demand, I don't know if you remember. There are two types of demand, independent demand, and then dependent. Final product, like a car, final product demand is independent, like a tire or part, dependent demand. So based on the final product, automatically we know parts, the number of parts. So MRP system based on dependent demand, part, component, and so on, material. And then MRP system is software, computer software. The MRP system structure, to run MRP system, we need three basic files: MPS, master production schedule, bill of material. Simply we call this one BOM, and then inventory record file. With the three basic files, run MRP system, then this MRP system produce primary report and secondary report. So the plan, what types of part, when, and then order, release, and so on. And then if there is no change, demand change, and then if they need something exceptional report, then this MRP system produces secondary reports. The first required file, MPS, Master Production Schedule. This is finished product. How many finished product need to produce? This one from aggregate plan, production plan, and then this aggregate like this. First month 900, then this aggregate model 327 need this part. First week, and so on like that. So this is now master production plan, MPS, from aggregate planning, and this aggregate. And BOM, this one is the structure of product. So showing final product structure. So based on this one, final product A need 2 of B part, 3 of C part, and then B part need 1D material, 4E material, and so on. To develop bill of material, using this low-level coding kind of method, bring all of the same component parts to a single level of the product. So using this low-level coding, we can make easy to compute total number of each part needed. Before using this low-level coding, maybe the same parts in different tier or levels. Part P here, R here in second level, and then third level here too. So if the same part in different tiers or level, then sometimes miscalculate. So bring all the same part on the same level. So N, N, R, 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 like this. This is low-level coding method. And inventory code file, the last required file for MRP system. It shows like an inventory on hand, and then the already place order, then when receive how many, and so on. So this one shows the inventory information. Ordering policy, lot for lot ordering system and fixed order lot system. If they use lot for lot ordering system, then order lot is the same as a requirement, net requirement. If next month we need like next week we need 100, but we have inventory like 50, so needed amount 100 minus inventory on hand 50, so net requirement is 50. So order net requirement. And then fixed lot order system. Earlier we covered the inventory system, then EOQ model, fixed order quantity. So using that EOQ model, fix the optimal order quantity and then use that fixed order every time when they place order. Another ordering policy, list total cost. This one from this idea. When we cover inventory system, then total cost looks like this. And then on this point, optimal Q point, holding cost or carrying cost, and then order cost. So on this point, the optimal order quantity point, holding cost or carrying cost equals ordering cost. So if first week 50 need, so order 50, then there is no carry. So order 50 and then use 50. So there is no carryover. So zero carryover cost, but order cost, some order cost. Order 2 weeks amount, then use 50 and then carry over. So some carrying cost. And order cost is the same because place only one time order. Then 3 weeks amount order, then carry over. So carrying cost increase like this. So the idea is if we increase order quantity, then difference between order cost and carrying cost decrease. And then on this point, 0. So this difference is 47. Difference is 44, 37, and then 28, and then 9 and 9.25 and 24, 27.75. So the difference between carrying cost and other cost decrease and then increase again. So among those other quantities, when ordered this one, 335, the difference between carrying cost and other cost is smallest. So using list total cost rule, then optimal order cost order quantity is 335. And next, next rule is using list unit cost rule. So order 50, and then cost is 47. So 47 divided by 50 equals this one. Then carrying cost of $30, order cost is 47. So kind of carrying cost plus the order cost divided by order quantity is 0.4545. So among these unit costs, this one is smallest. So if we use this list unit cost rule, then 410 is optimal order quantity. Example, in real world, many companies use this MRP system. They use nowadays MRP system is part of an ERP system. So still, many companies use this MRP system for planning the production for the production planning. But I cannot get the real the system because it's very expensive, and then actually for the school not available. So I made this example. Then I just show you how it works. So first, required file, master production schedule, MPS. If final product A need 800, in week 5 and week 10, 800. And the bill of material shows the structure. Final product need 1 B part and then 3 C parts. And inventory record file shows inventory on hand, final product 70. B part, no inventory on hand. Then C, 1,000. And then lead time is 1 week, 3 weeks, and 2 weeks. And then if there is no safety stock now required. And then already placed the final product, maybe from outside or contractor. So it will come in week 2 and 7, 50 each. And first example, running a MRP system. If we use lot for lot size ordering system, then master production schedule, week 5 and week 10, 180, 800, 800. So final product need produce like this, 800, 800. Then scheduled receipt based on inventory code 550 in week 2 and 7. So week 2, week 7. And then projected available balance on hand 70. So first week 70 available. And then week 2 receive 50. So available balance is 120. And then no change until this week. 800 need, but on hand is 120 available. So net requirement is 680. So order 680 using lot for lot ordering system. Order size is net requirement. So planned order receipt 680 net requirement. And then lead time is 1 week. So this one should place order a week earlier. So planned order release is 1 week earlier. And then based on bill of materials, to produce A, we need 1B and 3C at the time. So 1B, the same number, require part B and part C, 680 times 3. And then there is no on hand for part B, so available 0 until this point. So net requirement is 680. Then receive that time, then many. Then lead time is 3 weeks. So 3 weeks earlier, place order. Then for part C, 1,000 is available on hand. Up to that point, 1,000. The net requirement is the 2,040 minus 1,040. So receive that many, that time. To receive that many, 2 weeks earlier, place order. And then 800 need, available 120, receive 680. So total is 800, use 800, there is no carryover. And then receive 50, and then 50, 50, 50, 800 need, 50 available, need 750 more, that requirement, place order, and then receive the time, place order 1 week earlier. Then part B, 750 here to meet this kind of due date. And then 2,250 because A need 3C. So 750 times 2,250. And then 0 available to this point, 750 net requirement, receive 3 weeks earlier. And then 2,250 need because there is no available balance. Receive then many, place order 2 weeks earlier. So if we use lot for lot ordering size, ordering system, then order net requirement. And then if we use fixed lot size ordering system, then some difference. Up to this point, the same, because this one use lot order size. And then if we use fixed lot order system, then order size is fixed by EOQ model. If EOQ, economic order quantity or optimal order quantity for B is 900, and then for C 2000, fixed like this, even we need 680 net requirement, but this order size is optimal, so order 900 and 2000. Because net requirement is 680 and receive 900, 220, 900 minus 680, 220 carry over up to this point. Net requirement is 530, but order this many because this one is an optimal order size, and then carry over the same. Need 2040, net requirement is 1040, but receive 2000. So 2000 minus 1040, 960 carry over, available up to this point. Net requirement 1290, but receive 2000, so 710 carry over. So compared to ordering system, lot ordering system minimize inventory, but every time different order size, so different order quantity each time, but minimize inventory cost. And fixed lot order system, order quantity is the same, but there is inventory. So if we use this fixed lot order system, maybe inventory cost high. The order quantity stays the same each time an order is placed, but there is inventory. But we cannot say which one is better ordering system. If they focus on the order costs or order quantity or inventory cost, depending on what they focus on. That's all for today's lecture. And then there is no assignment because you have 2 assignments already. On Thursday, we will cover chapter 15 and 16, 2 chapters. Those chapters are not very long like today, but I will go over the transportation method of linear programming next week, next class on Thursday. Okay, any question? Okay, good. Good night and see you on Thursday.
Good night. Thank
Okay, have a
you.
good
Good
night.
night.
Good
Thank
night.
you.
Thank you.